Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Friday morning. Got a big show lined up, getting ready for a big weekend in outdoors. But first, as always got to check out weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Nice day today. Finally got, we had almost 2 full days of rain, and so this week's sort of been a little blunted as far as our fishing and outdoor effort, but we're looking at a good weekend and a little bit cooler. High today, 85, low 68. Water temperature is right at 83 degrees. Been good and steady. And our river readings, look at those, brought to us by Sandhill Seafood. Right there, in fact, I may go over and get some at lunch today, get some fresh seafood. I just had an urge to do that. I think we will. But anyway, the Apalachicola Bluntstown, 7.7. It sort of rose up a little bit, and the Choctawhatchee at Caryville is at a 6.6, and you can see where the Choctawhatchee sort of shot up. And I was thinking this morning driving in, the rhythm of nature as far as, and I use the Choctawhatchee River as a great example of it, how one part of nature reflects on the other part of nature. And the Choctawhatchee River is a great case on, the rain we had, and the river's going to rise. And it's not true in the Apalachicola River because it's man controlled. But if you want to just look at the rhythm of nature and all, and how things just work off each other, the Choctawhatchee River and the river basin itself is a great example to look at. We had a lot of rain, like I said, and so the sloughs and all are full, and it's a late spring, early summer. It's just really fascinating to look at that river system over there and know it's untouched and all. So I just really have a special feeling for the Choctawhatchee River system over there. Okay, now take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Good strong tides again all weekend. High tide 9:13 this morning and a low at 8:01 tonight. The marine forecast will be southeast at about 5 to 10. That's back to the regular schedule as far as the wind direction. We've had that northeast wind for a couple of days and brought in some cool air, but it's going to switch on around today and start coming back off the Gulf. And as you always know, that brings in the humidity. So be aware of that. Be a little bit changing that. Now, we're going to do our fishing game times on Friday. We're not doing this segment here, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. 2 times, 12:29 to 2:29 this morning, and after lunch, 12:53 to 2:53. Okay? Now, let's get ready for our Sandhill Seafood giveaway. And we're going to give away 2 half bags of oysters. And I get some of the nicest emails from folks who win these prizes and just enjoy them. And a lot of times get to talk to folks down there at the different places they pick them up. Michael Singleton wins the first half bag. And let's move on in here to the second winner is going to be Lori Cox. Lori Cox and Michael Singleton. I'll write that down in June. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I had planned on my schedule to call Sea Quarters Marina. I did call them, but Captain Kim's not in, but I did talk to the folks down there, got a report. I talked about it in more detail later, but they're catching some really big trout down there, so that's going to be exciting. Also, they were excited about the the tag redfish was caught. That was right out from not too far from them where that redfish was caught. So anyway, we'll talk more about that, but I did have a report from Sea Quarters Marina, and they're all doing well down there. Let's move on. I want to, let's go and look at some pictures right now, okay? Let's start off with this one right here. Kenny Bostic sent this to me. Hey, Winston, a friend at Home Depot, and Kenny works there part-time, lost her husband, and she has a 15.5-foot aluminum craft with a 70 Evinrude, a new $1,400 trailer, a new $600 motor guide trolling motor. She's asking $2,400 for the rig. See if we can help her sell it, and someone will get a good, that is a good deal. And here's the phone number now, 850-819-5039. Tell her you saw it on Panhandle Outdoors and Kenny Bostic, so when you call her, she'll know who she's talking to and all. That's a good river rig right there, folks. Okay, moving on. Speaking of a good situation here, this is from Gil Price. If you remember, he's been on the show before with the wrap fishing system. He said, hey, Winston, here's a pic of Juan Price, my brother. We fish at Rogersville, Alabama on the Tennessee River. We use the wrap fishing system. All of these are caught on rod and reel. We use chicken liver, shrimp and menhaden oil cocktail bait, and caught on the spot skipjacks, which we process for the wrap. All fish for a fish fry at our local church in a few weeks. It says Great Show Winston, Gil Price up there in the Phoenix Springs. Check that out. Okay, look at that. Look at those catfish right there, folks. That's going to be a good. Hey, Gil, you need to let me know when y'all going to have that fish fry. I might run up there and eat some of those catfish. All right. Now, this is interesting. This has already happened. I'm going to tell you about it first. This has already happened. I ran into a good friend of mine at a grocery store yesterday, and he was telling me he quail hunts with me, and he was talking. I said, "What have you been up to?" He said he just took his dog to a snake avoidance clinic. I said, "A what?" He said, "A snake avoidance clinic." I said, "I'd never heard of them." And he started telling me about it, and they're doing that in different places. And basically what they do, they've already had this one, we've got some coming up, and I'll let you know when they're going to have it. But what they do, you can see from the picture, and basically, and I won't read it, I'm not going to read it, but basically I'm putting my own words. You take your dogs up there on a Saturday, and they'll actually have live snakes, and they have deveined, taking the teeth out of the snake, and have also wrapped his mouth shut, supposedly. Anyway, they'll put a collar on your dog, and they'll take them just like the other quail hunt, and they'll go back and forth, and they'll know where the snake is, and they'll go back and forth, and then when the dog gets close to that snake, this dog is curious, and that snake is going to do a natural reaction, and when he gets up there, that snake, he said he actually saw this, the snake lunges at that dog, which is in self-defense. That's just nature. And when that snake lunges, when the trainers have this electroshock on the collar, and they'll hit that electroshock and it'll shock the dog, like dog trainers do. So that dog will relate pain to seeing that snake, so they will start avoiding, and they'll do that. They repeated and doing that throughout the day and all, and pretty soon that dog won't even get close to that snake. So that's a snake avoidance training. Okay. Thank you, Charles Willis, for telling me about that. So anyway, we'll tell more about it. I just thought it was fascinating and good. It's a good situation if it works like that. Because dogs really get hit harder with that. Okay, there's more information on it. Let's move on. Okay, here, the artificial reefs, Mexico Beach. Came across the FWC website. They have put $1.37 million of the Horizon money on reefs. A total of 471 prefabricated concrete artificial reefs were deployed in 3 artificial reef areas off of Mexico, right there at Mexico Beach, 471. And they're going to put some more in other places later, but that's a good deal right there. All right, move on real quick. Hey, Coach Chester, task you'll find some pictures I took last week. I saw the video you had of the quail, and I thought I might one-up you. I was leaving Corum's Restaurant on Highway 231 when I got to my truck, and look what was waiting for me. That's right, some guys go all season without seeing a turkey this size, and there he was waiting for me to finish my breakfast. Thanks for a great show. I watch every morning. E.G. Bagwell of Youngstown. And that's true. They go all season not see a turkey. There you go, right there. That's a good one. Thank you for sending that. This is my former principal. She's retired this year with Officer Tom Hedges. We had a great retirement party for her this past week. So Sandy Harrison, congratulations. Hey, you might be a redneck if you use this to replace your broken tail lights. I thought that was good. All right, that takes care of our pictures. Now let's, we need to add some names. Also got to draw. Let's add some names. Now we're going to draw Monday. We're going to draw Monday for the winner. And we've got a bunch of names to add today, if I can find them. And I can't find them, so let's go ahead and draw. I can't find this. We're going to go ahead and draw, and I'll add the names next segment. This is from Real Time Fisheries, a giveaway from Real Time Fisheries. I have a low country boil over there, great fresh seafood, good local folks. And if you want some fresh seafood, run by there and get it. And the winner is going to be Jim Haney. Jim Haney. Okay, we'll take a break and come right back. Okay, welcome back. I found your names. Okay, so let's start adding them. A lot of folks will be anxious here. Lawrence Sledge, he wants to go back on a trip. Okay, Richard Coleman and Phil Hester. And let's see, Anthony McGehee and Greg Taylor, Wilbur Miller. And I think that's all of them. We've got a lot more other places too. Okay, and let's move on now. I wanted to talk about next week. Next week we'll have the video of the Billy Archer trip we took on Seminole Wind. Had a great time, and it won't be one day. Next week we'll have that video, so it'll be a whole show, and it's a lot of good fishing and a lot of good time. So give you a chance to look forward to something like that, a good video of somebody catching a red snapper, because there were a lot of red snapper caught. Okay, now I want to talk. I'm going to do some R&R on my fishing lures. I'm going to R&R. I'm going to retire one of my fishing plugs. I'm going to restore some of them that have been stolen. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. If you get up, take a look at this. This has got, I get tickled at this lure every time I see it because of the tooth marks. There are tooth marks all over this. And I decided the other day, I was looking at it, I took the hooks off of it. I'm just going to hang it on my old pegboard because I got a lot of fond memories. That's caught a lot of fish right there. So I'm going to retire that, and now I'm going to try to restore what's been lost, what's been taken from me. And I started going out and just different. I fish all kinds of different things. So I'm just going to show you some of the things I bought to fish with from now on. So this right here, these Mirrodines, these different colors and all. Is that going to show up okay there, Jeff? You think? Okay. All right, this color here, Mirrodine, and that's just a good color I'm going to fish with. Okay, I got that one, and okay, and I'm just a Skitterwalk fan, and that's a different color Skitterwalk, and I use that a different way according to what the sun's doing. I place a lot of emphasis on the shade and what's going on with the sun. Okay, and here's another Skitterwalk, and that's that color right there, the bone color, and this color right here, my two favorite colors. And that's been a really good one. And whoever took my stuff, if you're watching, this is a good one to fish with. Okay, all right. And I mentioned okay. Here's another Mirrodine, and these are suspended. You know, they'll go underwater a foot or two, and they're good. I've had good luck with Mirrodines. And let's see, got another. You can't, without a super spook, you can't have a tackle box without a head and super spook. Okay, you see the color there? The head and super spook. That catches a lot of fish. And I'm mainly talking about trout and redfish right here. It's just inshore fishing. Okay, a badonkadonk. Okay, here it is right here, badonkadonk. That's the color right there. And I'm turning it over, and you can see that color right there. I like the badonkadonk and the Skitterwalk. And let's see, one more mirror lure, that color right here. And I had no idea they cost this much. I hadn't bought them in a while. I just keep reusing the ones I had. And also Paul Brown, these soft lures right here, Paul Brown, these are soft ones. And Bill Allen got me hooked on these, excuse the phrase, but these are really good right here. Okay, Paul Brown, they're soft. Paul Brown in the 70s, a fisherman out of Texas. That's who Paul Brown was. He was bought out by some big tackle companies. He was a good fisherman. Another Paul Brown. I like that bone color. And one or two more I bought. Again, a Paul Brown, soft plastic is what we call them. And then, does this one look familiar? This is pretty similar to what I just retired. Okay, the badonkadonk. All right, I think that's all I have that I'm replacing them with. But I wanted you to see what I'm putting back in my tackle box, and that right there was $99.60. So it was close to, rounded off to $100, and I probably right at a third of what I need to replace. So I didn't realize I had so much. I knew in my head what I had, but I didn't realize it cost that much to buy all these plugs. So I'm buying a little segment at a time, 1 month at a time. So this is a little nucleus to get me started on what I want to fish with now. Okay, now let's move on. I wanted to mention also this week we saw that fish picture of that real big drum that was caught, and I mentioned, about releasing these big fish, especially those drums. Folks, those drums are not good to eat. They don't. First of all, they flat out don't taste good. When they get that old and all, really they feed on mud worms and stuff like that. So they got a lot of mud in them, a lot of fish. They just taste awful, and they're not good to eat. So that leaves you a decision where you just take it home and show it off. But you can take a picture, and that way that lasts a lot longer. So take a picture of that big drum and let it go. Now I noticed one of the cases on FWC, a guy got busted. He had 4 big drums. Okay, you only allowed 1, so be aware of that limit. So anyway, and a big thing on all these big fish that we catch and keep, and the king mackerel, the really big fish and all. The one thing we don't realize as consumers, they have a lot of mercury in them, and mercury, of course, you know how poisonous that is. And over the years, it builds up in your body. So I don't eat any big fish. I haven't eaten any big fish in a long time, and I just get those small fish like that, or small fresh fish, and eat those. But those big drums and all, no need to keep those. Just take a picture of them, just let them go back. They're not. And just think, you might be able to catch them again, or some kid down the road might come on the bridge and catch one the next day or something. So I always think about releasing those big fish like that. All right. Now let's get ready for our Tarpanock seafood drawing. Where do we have it? Tarpanock seafood right here. All right. Tarpanock seafood. We're gonna give away a $20 gift certificate and then a big red snapper. And the $20 gift certificate winner is going to be Jep Sasser from Overstreet. Jep Sasser over there in Overstreet. Good fishing area over there too. I don't have time to go to all these fishing areas. There's so many good ones here. And the winner of the big red snapper, Jessica Boyd from Youngstown. Overstreet and Youngstown are the winners. All right. We're going to take our final break. Come back with our famous Friday fishing report. Okay, welcome back into the famous Friday fishing report brought to us by Tarpanock Seafood. It's called a report and a forecast. So whatever's going on this week, chances are it's going to be going on this weekend. We've had some rain now, so it's been a slow report in a lot of areas. But we do want to talk about freshwater first, because this weekend is free, license-free freshwater fishing. So be aware of that. You got any folks coming out from Alabama, Georgia, wherever, they don't have to get a license. They can fish with you. And speaking of freshwater, I want to rub down the Apalachicola River system. It's going to have more fresh water in it on the lower end there, because, that we had a north wind. We talked about those 8 weeks of wind blowing out of the southeast and blowing a lot of salt water intrusion all the way up to Howard's Creek and slowed down the fishing. But now that should be reversing, and fishing going to really take off pretty soon around that area, around the Howard Creek and the lower Apalachicola River system. I also wrote about the biggest thing was that on that intrusion, that it got on up in the sloughs and all to slow things down. But it's going to be a lot better. So bass fishing has been excellent this week, especially early part of the week in these sandhill ponds. Bass fishing is really good now in June. Let's go back on the saltwater side. I do want to mention, I wrote down offshore. Of course, I'll put red. You see it red. And if you got any kind of pictures on the internet and all of what kind of fish being caught here, has been a red snapper. There's a lot of red snapper. Also, amberjack's been caught good, and but no grouper. I wrote down no grouper. Just speaking of percentage-wise, I bet 90% of the catches have been red snapper, and the other 10% have been some grouper and some amberjack and some beeliners wrapped up in that. The beeliners have been pretty strong. Good size beeliners. I've talked to guys at the fish market that were cleaning the fish, and they said there's been some really good beeliners brought in. But you had to wait in line to get that done. All right, now I also want to talk about the king mackerel near shore. The king's been doing good. June, thing about June is always tarpon season. This is an excellent month to catch tarpon. The whole month of June is one of the best fishing months we have. It's not too hot yet. It's warmed up, and we had a little cool snap coming in. It's going to be warming up this week. It's going to be a great time to catch them, just to go out fishing. Also, the fresh, also the buoy lines. If you want to use fresh bait if you can. To get as much fresh live bait. You want a flat line for the kings, so you just throw it there and just let that bait just sort of act natural. And that's what's called flat lining. And usually you're going to catch your biggest kings that way. They just can't stand it. And the bigger kings come in and just, it's really exciting to catch them on a flat line. There's not a stew out of that. Okay, and also structure, fishing around structure is going to be good. A lot of chicken dolphin were caught this week. This past weekend, I noticed some of the other catches. What I mean by chicken dolphin, that's a little mahi. And some folks will come back in over the weekend, come back in Saturday afternoon, and they see something floating out there to make a circle. And you're usually going to see like a triple tail or a dolphin, so little dolphins around there. Once you catch one, you leave them in the water, and they'll just start coming around there, and you can have a ball. Especially if you've got kids on the boat or something, you can catch a bunch of them. So when you leave one in the water, just acting naturally, and they can't resist plugs and anything. They'll eat anything. Okay. All right, let's get back to the map here. Let's look that down at Caravel. The north bit is right in the center of the screen. That big trout, that big redfish was tagged and caught right in his area back in here. The guy Monticello, so he chose the Pathfinder. He's the first one to win in the state, and he chose the Pathfinder. So that GMC truck is still out there. Moving on down, it's going to be excellent fishing back, same things I normally talk about behind Dog Island, St. George Island. I talked about the state park yesterday with the state park situation here. And again, if you get down here and fish, it's really good this time of year. Red. Now, if you want to catch a big bull reds, this is probably the number one spot to catch them, really, of all the places. The bull reds and also shark fishermen like that area. Moving on really quick, moving on out Pascagoula Bay. The surf fishing, like I said last week, is not going to be that strong. But behind St. Vincent Island, the oyster bars, be holding a lot of fish back in there. Just be careful. Moving on along, St. Joe Bay, big trout been in St. Joe Bay. Also, if you get a chance, the flounder fish is going to be good coming out of the canal here. Surf fishing, June grass is going to be a little bit slow. I've also wrote down flounder. Flounder, they're picking up. The flounder fish is picking up. The hottest fishing, the most redfish that's been seen this week have been seen in the East Bay. I want to get to East Bay as soon as I could. East Bay is holding a bunch of redfish. That comes from people who fish it this week. So if you get a chance to fish around East Bay, there are all kind of places to go, but red fishing is going to be excellent around East Bay, around the Santa Creek area, Callaway Bayou, and all up on the Tyndall side here. It's going to be really good. I'm going to run out of time for a finish it. Drum fishing is going to be really good at the bridges. I talked about that. They're still catching some Spanish, a little bit of Spanish, right in this, a little bit of Spanish. But you fish Deepwater Point here, you got to fish in the middle of the day. Less traffic, probably in the middle of the day. All those boats are going out, so be careful fishing there. And you get around to Camp Helen. If you fish around Camp Helen, you know where that spot is. I'll run out of time. I guess I might be taking more time to do my fishing reports on Fridays, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So thank y'all so much for watching Panhandle Outdoors, and remember Monday we had to do our drawing for our trip. You have a great day, a great weekend in outdoors, and always do something good with your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.